All right. So I'd like to record an episode that just discusses like my experiences with side effects, all the medications I've taken, all the side effects you could expect from just having colitis, not sleeping, like when I get to prednisone, that's a side effect I've had regularly for the last 10 years. Let's start with I want to say the first side effect I got was after I took Azicol, my ulcers actually got worse. So I wonder what other people's experiences with Azicol are, but I did not find it helpful at all. I mean, it was like the next day I was back in the ER. It was worse. It actually had gone to my eye. I had inflammation in my eye, and I took prednisone eye drops, and they call it prednisolone, and it went away. But it was crazy. I literally couldn't see out of my eye, and I was dating a really sweet guy who was like driving me around, and I was just like not able to see and just feeling like I couldn't see out of one eye, but also even though there wasn't inflammation in the other eye, it was uncomfortable to like keep it open and still see. So I was basically blind. I was just like walking around, like trying to like rub my eye. Like I didn't know what was wrong with it. It was the first time I ever had that type of inflammation that manifests in what I thought would be like blindness. I literally thought I was going blind until obviously I'd gone to the hospital and the guy explained, oh, it's just traveling inflammation. Very bizarre. All right. Maybe on that topic of traveling inflammation, I noticed also a side effect of having ulcerative colitis was acne. And I don't know if it's psoriasis or what, but I will get dry patches on my elbows right before I flare. And right before I was diagnosed 10 years ago, I had adult acne. So I was like 28 and I had acne for the first time, and it was terrifying because it was really deep and I didn't know how to treat it. I had always had clear skin. Like it was really weird too because it was around the time in like 2010 where I guess people with acne were taking, I want to say tretinoin or some type of prescription only medication that then caused ulcerative colitis. So they went in for acne, and the side effect for that medication was because it was a pill that they were taking. I think it was a pill, and I think also it was a cream. I don't know. I never took it with a prescription. I think I went to a dermatologist once, and he gave me a sample. Um, it wasn't enough to be like, it's not like I took it and I noticed any symptoms afterwards. So I can't really say that, but I know around that time I was reading about it. Let's see, other side effects. Okay, so yeah, the psoriasis and stuff, I treat it with hydrocortisone and it kind of goes away, but it really is just a cyclical thing. I think that runs in tandem with the ulcer cycle, if they have a cycle. I don't know what's going on. I know I usually flare in the winter. So I think there's some cycle to it. But anyways, I remember being diagnosed in May though. Um, Other side effects I've had. So with medication after Azicol, I tried Lialda, and I think I mentioned this in the other video where it like made my shoulder lock up and then also my rib cage, so I couldn't breathe. It was really gnarly. It was like nothing you could like do to get rid of it. No stretching, no like massaging because it was so deep. It was just you just cried. You were locked up, and it was kind of like just not able to move from a fetal position until they gave me a couple drugs that relaxed me, took the pain out, so it like unlocked. I mean, it felt like I was getting stabbed, and then the stab wound was locking up. It was really wild. That was Lialda, and then also I took another form of Lialda, Rowasa, and I feel like it's in a class there. These are in a class of mesalamines. So I had taken Lialda, Rowasa, and I think there's another form of um, mesalamine that I had taken. Oh, I took sulfasalazine. I never had any side effects. I also had taken like 15 of those a day. At one point, I had heard, oh, you want to take a bunch of them. So I got pretty scared. I thought I was flaring. I was flaring. As I was going into the flare, I just started like popping like two more a day, two more a day. And uh, didn't help. Let's just say. So sulfasalazine, I guess, not for me, but it didn't cause any side effects. So after that, since I flared on it, they're like, you got to try another medication. Because the idea is they want to put you on a medication you don't flare or decrease the number of flares that you have. I was flaring pretty regularly, like annually or every other year, and finally had gotten on, I think, Remicade, and that helped me for like 2 or 3 years. Now, when I got off of it, here, let me back up because I mentioned that what happened when I got off of it in a different video. I had flared, and then I got on Remicade, and then my hair fell out. So I want to address that. It's not a side effect of Remicade if your hair falls out. That timing was that I had telogenic effluvium, which comes a couple months after a very stressful event. It could be physical or whatever. So obviously an ulcerative flare is stressful. I had the flare, got better. 3 months later, my hair was already dead in the scalp. It just fell out. It's kind of a weird feeling. It's actually like kind of tingly. And I couldn't pull it back because it would just feel weird, and also it would come out. So I was like, oh, what do I do? My hair is literally coming out in clumps. Like with a breeze, it would come out. So I shaved my head, or buzzed it or whatever. Or maybe I had cut it into a pixie to kind of save some of it, but it was really falling out. And I was like, it just looks bad with like, not bald patches, but like you could tell it was thinning. So I did shave it, and it bit it, but I shaved it with like, I don't know. I went to somebody who did it professionally, and like totally looked like Natalie Portman or like V for Vendetta or like Furiosa, I swear. Anyways, so that's fun. Side effects of Remicade, when I got off of it and I tried to get back on it, my body had developed antibodies. So as it was being administered, it's an IV drip. So as I felt it going into my arm, it felt kind of cold. And I was wondering like if the nurse had like refrigerated it. So by the time I like looked up at the nurse, got her attention, asked her if it was refrigerated, it's like, this is really cold feeling. It went up